Eric, where you headed?
What I'm concerned with is we want fairness in the process. We want one standard for the elite in City Hall as well as the rank and file worker. If it was a New York City police officer and accusation upon accusation came out, it would be investigated. If they were found to be wrong, they'd be disciplined. We live in a department that's obsessed with discipline. Why is that not that same standard being held to those that are working in City Hall? All we ask is for fairness and one standard for all.
And what about this trouble to you that DOI, some of these information is coming from the Special Mayor's office or DOI, and that the mayor is saying case closed?
It's not really his call whether it's case closed, it's the investigators. If the investigators said they did an investigation, then release that information and let us read it and let us come to a conclusion. Again, one standard for all. If it was a city worker that got investigated, that information would be released, the discipline would be known. What we see here is two standards, one for the elite in City Hall, one for the rank and file worker.
Can you talk a little bit about all of the videos that have come out, and some of them are very troubling? You continuously say we're not seeing everything, but some of these videos are troubling. Let's start with one with the cop punching the kid.
Well, let me say this. One of the videos that came out, there was accusation that the police officer stole money, and it was a jump to conclusion. It was a 35-second clip. And what did it turn out? That the person that was stopped fit the description of a gun run. The money and his property, his cell phone, was vouchered. But nonetheless, that police officer was dragged through the mud as if they were guilty. All I'm saying is allow them to be an investigation and make all conclusions based on the facts, not on 35 seconds of a video, because videos now are the new fashion to go out there and catch a police officer. Many of them are edited. Many of them are set up. All we're saying is investigate, and then when it's found that it's wrong, prosecute those that are making those allegations against the police officer. Again, one standard. If you're going to make an allegation that's false, then stand behind it. If you don't, you prosecute for it. This police officer did his work appropriately. Nonetheless, we don't see that very often that they say, hey, by the way, we were wrong. That 35-second video, we shouldn't have made a conclusion to that. And that goes for all the videos. You can't just make a conclusion based on watching a video on a TV screen and then condemn that police officer. Investigate it and let the facts lead where it leads, not before that.
If the officers are guilty of something wrong, should they be prosecuted?
Our police officers, unfortunately, are disciplined all too harshly and all too often. That's not an issue in our police department. We work in a police department that's obsessed with discipline. Every article calls for discipline. So that's not the problem. What the problem is everyone assumes a police officer was wrong from the beginning. If a doctor loses someone, we say, well, all doctors aren't bad. No, we look at that doctor and find out what's wrong. Again, one standard for police officers, one standard for another. That's
final question for me on this one. I mean, it's something you pointed out, but I do see in these videos as well, the officers look, and many times they are extremely aggressive, but we also see people in the community not backing up, telling the officers, don't touch me.
When you're resisting arrest, that's against the law, and that heightens the suspicion of the police officer. In the most recent video, it was supposedly a man with a gun. The crowd coming on with it. What if that person didn't have the gun, but one of the crowd that's causing a distraction is? And then we question, well, the police officer used their pepper spray. Is that appropriate? Well, if he uses pepper spray, he's criticized. If he uses his ASP, he's criticized. If he takes out his weapon, he's criticized. What does a police officer do when someone is resisting arrest? Do you want them to walk away? I live in this city. I want safe streets. Safe streets means back your police officers, give them the benefit of the doubt, nothing more. It troubles our members, but because we see, as we're reading in the recent days, that there's an allegation and we're condemned from the beginning and disciplined. Here's someone that's proved that was a lie on a form that's very important. Again, I ask for one standard, not one standard for the elite in City Hall and another standard for the rank and file police officer or worker. One standard that's fair and no one can criticize. It's according to what that investigation says. If it's found that she did lie, that's a perjury and she should be fired.
What is your sense of the reception that the mayor received?
Say it again, sorry.
What is your sense of the reception that the mayor received?
This is a memorial service. Police officers will do one thing: realize that what's important here today is those names on that wall. So we'll be respectful here and always realize it's not politics we should be talking about, but that memorial wall, and that's what it is.
Just back to the DOI for a second. Does it bother you that the guy running DOI is a former treasurer of the de Blasio campaign?
That's a question for the mayor to answer. Again, we don't care who's doing it as long as it's done fairly.
And I know we spoke about the cop accused of stealing money, but what about the 16-year-old boy that was punched in the face?
Allow the investigation to go forward. If there was wrongdoing, so be it. But let's not make that conclusion on a video of what the person, the complaint said. Investigate it, come to a conclusion after that full and thorough investigation.
Do you have any remarks on Sanford Rubenstein?
Well, Sanford Rubenstein on a regular basis would see an accusation against a police officer and call for their arrest immediately, regardless of the evidence. You know what? He should be arrested. He should be put in prison. Just like same standard for him that he calls for police officers. He should be arrested. He should be arrested today.